Okay, the end of an era. It's time to talk about the final season of Parenthood, and I'm at a slight bit of a crossroads with this season because on a critique scale, the season was excellent, just as good as all the others, but on a personal scale, I've got my own few gripes about it, but it all boils down to two simple things. One, I felt season 5 ended everybody on such a perfect level, and two, the fact that nobody appears in every episode of this season, so I felt like we were getting little bits of everyone's story. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't that what's been happening in the previous seasons? Yes, but if pretty much everybody, or at least 2/3 of everybody, appears in every episode or is only absent in one or two episodes, you don't feel like you're missing everybody. But given how short this season was and the fact that 2/3 of everybody were absent for about a fourth of the season, yeah, that did affect it a little bit for me, but at the same time, I can tell that it's really just a me problem because the storylines that they got in here I did enjoy, and I was also impressed to get a different feel in this season because you had kind of felt like at the end of last season, everybody had reached the end of the developing or growing up bits, and now they're just trying to decide the next course in life, even though everybody on the adult scale did go through some developing. And just, you're looking at characters and you're reminded of little bits from early on in the show, that casual conversation with Hattie and Burr at the beginning of the season where you're kind of reminded that they hated each other back in the first season. Now they're just casually talking to each other as if that had never happened. And then Drew, all the stuff he was trying to do to help his sister out, that was pretty nice. And then Sarah, she finally manages to settle down. Nice. Just everybody had grown up and then decides to do their next little bit, or in the case of Zeke and Camille, their final bits, and that was a real emotional story arc that we got with Zeke here, because I was reminded for the first time in like forever that that's going to be my family and me eventually. Just it hadn't really sunk it home in a long time, and then it finally happened. I actually had to stop watching the season like twice because I had to reassure myself, just calm down, take some message from the show and enjoy what you've got right here. And like at the end of the season, I was real bummed to see him die because I'd been thinking for most of the season that he was going to die, but in the very last 5 minutes, kind of a cruel blow, even though I probably should have expected it. And he got the best death he could hope for, listening to his wife's voice. Not much kinder than that, except having the rest of the family there. Yeah. Right. So I think that kind of covers problem 2 that I had. And then as for problem 1, even though I did feel like this season did kind of distort that because well, let me back up. In the season 5 episode, pretty much everybody with the exception of Max reached like an end of their story arc. I'm not going to go into everybody because if you go back, I'm sure you can kind of realize what the end of it there was. But in the season finale this season's season finale, not everybody got an end to their stores, because like Hattie, we didn't really get that great of an end to her. Yes, she is there when Zeke's ashes are sprinkled over the baseball field, like 5 or 6 months after Raymond and Sarah's wedding, because since Amber is still holding her baby, in her arms like that, that just seems to indicate that he hasn't really grown up at all, so I'm using that as my jump ahead. She's just there with her family, but we don't really get any real explanation to where she is right then. Now, to be fair, she hasn't been shown in the past couple of seasons, but as I stated, season 5 gave us a perfect resolution to her character. Here, not so much. And then Drew, sure, he is sitting next to Raymond's daughter when with seeing what happens to everyone on Sarah's little joint of the family and seeing that Amber has married somebody and had another child, but he's just there. He's not with anybody. What happened to him? Did he graduate? Did he and Natalie get together? What happened? And, I thought I had one more. Oh, we have a slight continuity error involving Joel and Julia, where, I think I recall a little bit in Season 2, where they, made a comment that Julie probably would not be able to have another baby. Well, after you've adopted two, you suddenly have another biological one? I mean, like, sure, accidental pregnancies can happen because my dad was somewhat of an accidental pregnancy, but, odd. But, yeah. So, I think you guys get the idea. It's actually a very nice season, and I'm just letting two gripes really kind of sink it down, even though they aren't the hugest gripes out there, right? So that concludes my Parenthood reviews. Sorry that these, like, weren't really the best reviews, because, like, I'm sure that this show has been talked to death, that I can't really talk about other things that haven't really been discussed before, and also, it's kind of hard to talk about individual storylines because this is all one huge story, you know? Well, see you next time.